The vinyl resurgence is a bit of a funny term because for a lot of people it never went away.
The sound of vinyl it's warm, it's musical, you can hear it, but more importantly you can actually feel it as well. And that's why vinyl is king. Well, my favourite album is this one here, David Bowie, Aladdin Sane. This is an album that I pestered my mum and dad into buying me when I was about 14. He changed the music scene, he changed culture, he changed everything. I opened the shop here because of my love of vinyl. I've worked in record shops before. I've always liked dealing with records, but most importantly, I really like dealing with the customers because we get really nice customers in here. We'll make tea for them or coffee and we chat about what's going on in their lives and they ask about our lives. I think the appeal of vinyl is the vinyl itself, the covers, the records, the pleasure of putting a record on. Streaming is a bit like watching TV through a thick curtain. You're only getting part of it. With vinyl, you get everything. It's fantastic. We opened in 1990, so we've been here a long time. We must be doing something right. I suppose the biggest event would have been COVID and lockdown during that period there, so we couldn't come in and we couldn't see our customers. We missed them, and I think they missed us as well. We've had the same staff working here all that time, and we get on very, very well. The sound of vinyl it's warm, it's musical, it's much, much better than any digital format. You can hear it, but more importantly, you can actually feel it as well. And that's why vinyl is king. So this is a 1956 Bal-Ami Junior jukebox, one of the very first that was imported into the country. It's a 20-play record, which means you can only have 20 different records on it, two sides. It would have been in cafes and coffee bars in and around the UK from the mid-1950s onwards.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do a favourite album. Has anyone actually answered that yet? Have they? It depends on your mood. My favourite album at the minute, it's a kind of vintage style reggae album. It sounds amazing. I've been working on it for the last few weeks. Yeah, at the minute, that's my all-time favourite. Pressed record is the most common type. That's what you mostly find in a record shop or if you buy records online. So what I do here, I cut lathe cut records. Instead of using massive factories and machines, what I can do here is with these cutting lathes, cut individual records in small runs and cut one or two or runs of 10 or 20 at a time. And that way, independent artists can get small runs made, they can get really individual records made, and we can do really cool like limited edition and bespoke records. These are the blanks. Now these come with a protective film on, so I'll peel that off. So this is your blank record that's just got no grooves or music on it. This is a 7-inch, but we can cut any size. And that goes on there. And then I get some anti-static fluid, spray that on, and then just clean it off. So I've got a computer over here with the audio on. So This is a track that's been mastered for vinyl, and then this comes out of the computer, goes all the way around the back of the room into some amplifiers under here, and then kind of like you'd get for your, like any hi-fi, you'd have an amp and some speakers. For this, we have an amp, and then it goes directly through these cables into the cutting head. And the cutting head is pretty much two tiny speakers in a little box, but instead of pushing air, they're connected to the diamond tip stylus, which moves it back and forth and up and down to cut the groove into the record. So what I'm going to do first is switch a vacuum on, so it's going to get a little noisy, and that is basically cutting away the bits of the record that are getting cut. It sucks them up through this tube into that box just to get them away from the cutting stylus. Then move the cutting head into position, lower the cutting head to start cutting the groove, and then I'll hit play and that'll start the music, and you'll actually be able to hear the music coming out of the cutting head in the room, and then it'll be cutting the record. So I'm not sure if you can hear that or not, but if you get close, you might be able to hear the music that's coming out of the cutting head. And then we should be able to play this straight away. And there we go. It's a finished record. So the work I do and the records I cut really help the grassroots music scene and the independent artists. Obviously with kind of the rise of streaming and that not paying artists, it's getting more and more difficult to actually grow and sustain a career. With the records I cut, it's one of the few ways artists have to actually make some money. They can get a small run of say 10 or 20 records cut, go and play a few gigs and sell them out and actually make double their money or make some profit so that they can reinvest into their career. The vinyl resurgence is a bit of a funny term because for a lot of people it never went away.
My favourite record is, I'm going to go with Unfinished Symphony, Massive Attack. I'm Churce, I'm from Leeds. I've been DJing for about 4 years now anyway. I thought you had to be able to mix on vinyl here, and you don't need to, it's just sort of intro and outro. Last time I played, I did more like, I had some garage tracks in there, like some minimal deep techy stuff. I come and play a bit of genres that I don't normally play out, like in sort of bars or when I'm not mixing, so I get to play all sorts here.